Grab your beverage of choice and maybe a puppy. We are going to get into the Laurence Fox non-apology. Absolute diva behavior over here. Now, while I am definitely going to get into this, I'll be honest, I would love to see Molly McPherson's take on it. She is the PR crisis guru. So Laurence Fox put out a highly edited video that was his apology for what he said about Ava Evans on GB News with Dan Wootton, leading to the both of them getting suspended by GB News.
It's going to be sensible, and I could replay it. I would say any self-respecting man in 2023 would probably be well advised to avoid a woman who possessed that worldview, because she would probably cause him nothing but harm.
Won't anybody think of the men? Sounds like Laurence can't handle a strong woman, but also, this doesn't make it any better. Maybe she has views because she cares about women's issues. Women do not solely exist for your pleasure. Let's be honest, you tried to make a joke and it wasn't that funny, because most of you cancel culture warriors are just not that funny. Want to know what else isn't funny? Referring to yourself as a trans lesbian of color. You're just an unfunny dirtbag. But you think that your opinions and your points of view are so important. That's why we need dozens upon dozens upon dozens of mediocre white men taking over our airways and our papers just so we can hear your very important thoughts. Take several seats. Get the cotton out of your ears, put it in your mouth, and listen. You might learn something. Whew, okay, I'm already heated and we are barely into this apology.
But what I did say was, I wouldn't shag that and all that sort of stuff, which is not right. And it's demeaning to her, to Ava, so I'm sorry for demeaning you in that way, however angry I am with you still for doing that. And it demeans me because it's not representative of who I am. And also I'd like to add that I'm not saying any of this stuff because I know I'm going to get sacked tomorrow. I'm saying this stuff to clear my own conscience.
Couple interesting things there, and that is where the non-apology really comes in. He doesn't say I'm sorry, but he basically does it though. He says, I'm sorry for demeaning you. He follows up with, I stand by what I said. Also interesting though is he defends this apology by saying, in case you think I'm just doing this to try to save my job, I'm not. I'm probably getting sacked tomorrow. That is an interesting development because as of right now, they are just suspended. This is a way to get ahead of it because guess what we have coming up next?
Narrative has been spun and a scapegoat has been found, which is me. And I don't think that that's been particularly fair.
Take everything he said before that, the apology to Ava, the sorry for demeaning her, pick it up, dump it in the trash. He is going to paint himself as a victim of free speech and we just can't have opinions anymore. And the cancel culture wars that he is now a victim of. He is basically trying to martyr himself. Because here's the sad part. It's going to work. He is going to land on his feet. I'm sure he is on other shows and has other podcasts, but oh my gosh, the way the right eats this up. He is signaling to them, I'm not actually that sorry. But also, isn't political correctness going just a little too far?
When even the sex allegations of whatever won't be coming my way, I honour, love and respect women.
Woman here. I'm telling you, you don't. I'm not entirely sure what that sex allegation part was. I'm not sure if that was a dig at Dan or if he was saying, hey, if anything comes out, any allegations against me, not true. Continuing.
Context to why I posted Dan Wootton's, I reposted it. Dan was, as you probably know, Dan's been in a lot of hot water after a sort of Byline Times attack on him. And I provided Dan with probably several weeks of daily moral support and encouragement and the full access to free legal services that from the Bad Law Project.
Pause. If Laurence was offering free legal services, why did Dan reach out to the parent company of the Mail Online requesting extra financial support for this legal battle?
We organised a crowdfunder and we did all this and worked really hard and we put everything aside and we did that. And I said to Dan quite clearly, I said, look, if they sack you without any, actual police involvement, just on the back of some complaints which are unfounded, and the presumption of innocence isn't maintained, along with the right to express free speech, then I will walk out in solidarity with you.
A couple things there. First of all, Laurence Fox had a hand in setting up the Democracy 3.0 crowdfunding site that is now down. Dan's campaign is gone, and it raised somewhere around £37,000. Where's the money going? He again goes into he is the victim, but he was willing to walk out and stand by his friend in the name of free speech. Definitely not the opportunities and the press coverage that it might bring him. It definitely wasn't that. This is about money and standing out among the rest of the hard right blowhards that pontificate daily in the UK. What better way to raise your profile than to walk out in solidarity for free speech?
To express my apology to Ava for the language I used, whilst I maintain the sentiment I possess still.
It's the apology, but right there. Which sentiment in here are you defending? Because you kind of spend a lot of time talking about the kind of person that you think would screw her, which isn't you, while incorrectly stating that the gender wage gap doesn't exist. Laurence doesn't just disrespect women, he disrespects everyone. Laurence's non-apology serves two purposes. Because there will be people that see this and hear the word sorry and say, well, he did apologize and he's clearly not doing it to save his job. But it's not about the I'm sorry, it's about what comes after. Because he apologizes and then he justifies his behavior and then he turns himself into a victim of a larger narrative. He is the scapegoat. These are all dog whistles that people who support those people like Laurence Fox eat up. He is trying to parlay this into something bigger. And that, quite frankly, is terrifying.